Good morning. This is Professor Anderson with a little bit of feedback for your rough draft running assignment number 3. So first of all, I want to share with you that I love how you have followed this format. It's very important for a memo and for the research-based report to follow the strict formulaic approach. They are organized in a specific reason for a specific reason. So kudos to you for that. What I want to share with you is a little bit of each of the individual sections. So I've pulled up this sample of in week 4, the sample paper to read. And I want you to note in this summary, what it gives you is a brief overview of the problem. And so here, the brief overview of the problem, I don't think is climate change. I think your problem is we have a recycling issue in our workplace, or we have an opportunity to participate in a more efficient recycling program. So implementing recycling in the workplace, double check real quickly, go back and talk about what is the problem and why it needs to be investigated. So here you could talk about I realize that a lack of recycling contributes to larger landfill issues, which contribute to greater planet initiatives, greener planet initiatives. The reality is you need to focus a little more and focus on how recycling will benefit that company. Remember, you're targeting a single individual decision maker, and what they're looking at is the bottom line of their company. And so while you have the idea and concept for or recycling in the workplace is has much broader impact, a much larger issue. The reality of implementing one with cost constraints, space constraints, employee participation is much greater. Well, is much more detailed and kind of finite. So you want to pick one of those areas because you need to persuade the decision maker. So I recommend, instead of we're adding to the greenhouse gases, and that is contributing to greater methane, potential greenhouse issues, and impacts to the environment. But all valid, all credible, but we have to start at the smallest increment. So what can we do? The problem is we don't have any efficient means of beginning a recycling program. There are multiple opportunities to do that. So that's the problem. And then the next is secondary research shows there are multiple types. There are multi-stream, single stream, both integrate, recycling program into a larger office setting. They both have varied benefits and drawbacks. So then your primary research, so additional research in the form of questionnaires and interviews should be conducted, or let's take a look at how this is here. Why? What is problematic? Why needs to be secondary? Primary research I will conduct. Did you notice how this shifts? So all in this sample paper, all of this is very third person. It's just fact data dumping. This is what's going on. This is how it's impacting. And then here, what I would like to do is, and that's what you want to say in this area of primary research to conduct. What I would like to do is, the primary research I would like to conduct is with a select group in our organization or all employees in our organization. Recall back to there's like 2 or 3 screencasts ago where we talk about the types of primary research and how to figure out who to deliver it to, who to incorporate, who to exclude, how to use various different pieces of information. So you want to detail exactly who, this is your opportunity, this section, to share. This is the ownership within the larger research that you are taking. And then here, discuss the specific benefits or recommendations that you would have based on the research. And this portion, you want to avoid, or you want to, you want to make certain that it is that it's important to integrate that you share how important it is to integrate that primary research into the results of the research. So basically what you're saying is, so the The secondary research shows it's difficult to integrate a problem, recycling problem or recycling formula into a workplace, but it does benefit the bottom line. It's more cost efficient. It contributes positively to the environment. It makes the corporate, faceplate or name look better, blah, blah, blah. So you want to make sure that you include that. And then how is it that your primary research will help also? So by identifying those areas within our corporation that we can implement or integrate this program, we will be able to more positively contribute to the blah, 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 blah. In this, you want to make sure down here that you're not necessarily talking about climate change. Your focus, while ultimately your program that you're recommending will contribute to a larger environmental change. You need to focus on your project, and that's recycling in that office. Yes, it has multiple manifestations, and one of them is climate change. One of them, if you don't do it, you will be contributing to factors that have been related or identified to that. But that's not what you're not trying to solve climate change, is what I'm trying to say. You're trying to introduce recycling. So sometimes it's more difficult to really finitely hone in that idea and concept. But most importantly, in this conclusion, you have to ask permission. Make sure you include a line. Let me share with you in the bottom here. So with your permission, I'll conduct the research. You want to make sure this is asking for permission to go ahead and begin that research. So I hope that was helpful and look forward to reading your final copy.